And with the kick of the ball, we are underway. A squib kick, and Lancaster is immediately going to get a return on the onside kick, and it's going to be a touchdown. Lancaster strikes first. What a way for us to get immediately live into the action. A great return, I believe, by Lancaster's, looks like Noah Williams, and a touchdown for Lancaster to start first. Welcome to everyone watching around the world. Spencer Thompson alongside Brennan Daniel. A little bit rushed for our crew today, but we are on site, and just 11 seconds into tonight's contest, it is 6 points for the Lancaster Christian Academy Knights. And a two-point conversion attempt. Bragg across the middle. Two-point conversion is good, and a great reception. So 8-0 already. Again, welcome to everyone watching around the world. Spencer Thompson alongside Brennan Daniel. Proud to be with you here in Ottawa, Tennessee. Well, Brendan, we got here. It took a labor of love for us to get everything set up in about 40 minutes, but we made it. And this is, of course, your first time here in Ottawa. And what a start for Lancaster Christian already off the bat.
Absolutely. First time probably I've seen an onside kick actually go for a touchdown probably in my life.
It's been a while since we've seen that in the 8-man football scene, and great effort by Lancaster Christian to make that happen. And Lancaster Christian waiting a little bit for the onside kick attempt, and we will be underway in just a few moments here from, at least underway for this next move by Lancaster kicking team. This will be high and squibbed up, and it will go out of bounds before it is fallen on by Brock Passons. As they'll talk to Coach Ateka about what they want to do with the penalty. Have a little bit of a discussion here on this one. Free kick out of bounds, and it will be a first down, so they'll just enforce it after the kick.
A long discussion to have.
Just wanted to make sure they knew what their options were. Anything's ready, and we'll see the Grace Baptist offense for the first time this evening. Again, the significance of this competition cannot be built up enough, essentially for the #1 seed in the TSI AA South, as Kinnett airs it out to the right side and finds his man incomplete. Pass intended for Caleb Adams, and good coverage there by, I believe it was Westmoreland, between Westmoreland and Hargrove.
Yeah, Caleb Adams, all he had to do is reach his hands out, and he would have probably caught that ball.
And we've seen Kinnett have incredible passes like that in the last few games we covered. Of course, we were here last week when they hosted Christian Community. It's another well-structured team that they're colliding with here in Lancaster. The Knights from Smyrna. On a 2nd and 10, Kinnett looking for his options. Going to roll it out to his same target just through the hands of Caleb Adams off of his fingertips. Incomplete.
And just like expected, wet plays, it's going to be tough to catch the ball, tough to throw that ball.
Both teams coming into the evening undefeated. Lancaster at 3-0, Grace Baptist at 5-0. So out of the teams we cover, there will be one remaining school or organization that does not have a loss on their record after the evening. Right now, Lancaster on top. Connect with the short pass. It's completed to Mason Long, and they'll at least get a first down. Went a few times with some deep bombs to try and score early, but this time they opt to just get across midfield at the 48.
Nice and simple. Just a nice short pass just to get that first down and keep the drive going.
It's 1st and 10, Grace Academy from the 48-yard line.
I'm expecting that RPO here soon as well.
I haven't seen that yet in tonight's competition. Look, we've seen how effective it is. The other teams that they've collided with, a well-structured team in Christian Community had no answer for it last week. This one tossed, and this reception is made by Caleb Adams this time. Short gain, about 4 yards is what they'll give him. And there's a flag in the backfield. I believe some extracurricular activity with the Lancaster players. It looks like that'll be tacked on. Talk it over with Coach Ateka. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Looks like we don't. Looks like we got the official mic'd up. Probably just not remembering that he's got it mic'd on him.
Yeah.
The ref's got a lot of things they're worrying about on game day.
And he has a lot on his plate.
Especially with two teams facing off.
Those penalties came after the play. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
So they'll tack it on to the end of the play. So 2nd and 6 from the 44-yard line after the penalty enforcement. As Grace Baptist continues to march down the field. There's the movement right side. Caleb Adams trying to get past the Lancaster defense. Results in some positive yardage for about 2 yards, but it'll bring up a 3rd and short.
Maybe Lancaster's running defense is actually better than we thought. Maybe that's why Grace Bass hadn't pulled out that RPO.
From the 43, Connect receiving the audible calls.
Looks like he tried to get some defensive players to jump.
Doesn't get him to jump that time as Connect back to Adams. Caleb Adams will get the first down and potentially could have had a touchdown run there. That was Eric Macias, the sophomore, preventing the tackle.
Got there at the right time, too, because if he didn't get that at the perfect time, it would have been touchdown.
10-yard gain on the play. It's 1st and 10, Golden Eagles.
New set of downs for the Golden Eagles. On the 33-yard line, Connect. And a flag down as a gain of 9 yards. The flag coming in from the far side.
A holding call, possibly.
Ball carried by number 21, Tyler Parrott. Flag on the play.
Making sure they discuss and get the right call here. And it's holding on the offense. You were right there, Brennan.
Yeah, usually a spot like that, it's always a holding call.
So the holding declined and then a personal foul. Well, actually, they enforced both of those because one's a live ball and one is a dead ball foul. So they will move this all the way back.
What a long way to go.
1st and a quarter of the field. Probably even more than a quarter of the field.
Yeah, it feels like more than a quarter.
As the clock continued to run down there, it's about 8:40.
Might want to start launching that ball now from this angle. Or Set up a perfect little screenplay.
1st and 20 plus.
Lancaster's building up that box.
Kinnett mishandles the football. Scramble and sack brought down in the backfield by Zach Atkinson, the sophomore.
They sent the blitz, and it worked. If it wasn't, even with the mishandled fumble, I think they probably still would have got that sack.
9-yard loss on the play. It's 2nd down.
Looks like they're going to just bomb it down the field. Probably their best bet.
2nd down. Kinnett has been able to throw bombs. He's just going to keep it here, trying to get past this Lancaster defense. Finally met a few yards past the line. And a 3rd down and still way long coming up with both of those penalties.
I believe the Lancaster understands defensive-wise. Kinnett is going to be the guy they're going to have to watch in order to stop this Grace offense.
Kinnett on 3rd down. Quick toss, Parrott. Tyler Parrott to the right side, trying to weave past this defense. Gets across midfield, but way short of the line to gain. Down to the 45-yard line.
He's got some decent yardage back. Maybe just time to punt the ball and just get as far away as you can.
Spotted at the 44-yard line, so 4th down, about 22. And Kinnett looks like they're going to go for it as a flag thrown near Grace Baptist sideline. It's a sideline warning given to Grace Baptist, so no penalty on the first offense.
Got to get back. You got to get back. They will get you for that every time.
Fourth and long. Kinnett is going to air it out on the left side for his target. Cole Mason tried to get it between his hands. Excellent coverage by the Lancaster defense.
Couldn't ask for better coverage on that. And just as he, look as Cooper just launches that ball. What an arm on that man. The perfect defense.
2-man coverage. Good job to prevent any defensive pass interference on that play.
They played it perfectly. They played it on him and just waited for that ball.
The Lancaster with great field advantage, essentially at midfield in their own territory. Has a chance to get a second score if they can march it down here. Bragg, right side, Hargrove. Vaughn Hargrove to the right side. Loss of about 13 yards.
That Grace Baptist defense, there's nothing to play with as well. They're going to keep them in this game as long as possible. The offense just has to score.
Loss of 3 yards there, so Grace Baptist having their defense stand strong. Second and 13. As Bragg slings it, intercepted, a pick by Cooper Kinnett, and he's still going, trying to get past the last man. Bragg is gonna chase him down. A blocker there, and Cooper Kinnett on the defensive side gets a touchdown for Grace Baptist.
perfect block, perfect interception, as he just knows how to run that ball perfectly, even with defense or offense. Perfect block and way to run in that ball.
It's so rare to see Deuce Bragg throw an interception, and unfortunately gets one there.
Connect was just at the right place at the right time, and he read that quarterback. Looks like it's going to be a quarterback-on-quarterback battle, eh?
That's very much what it's looking like already in this matchup that will essentially determine who is the #1 seed in the South, pending any upsets through the next 2 to 3 weeks. Determines who gets the first round bye in the TSIAA. Knet, right side, incomplete. Pass intended for Tyler Parrott. More than likely would have made it into the end zone had he made the catch. 5:06 left to go in the first. Lancaster still retains the lead by 2. Well, Grace certainly responded, not on the offensive front, but defensively, a rare sight to see. Deuce Bragg picked off as it's wobbled a little bit. And a return attempt by Reese Cloes pushes through, finally brought down at about the 42-yard line, and the Lancaster offense will get back to work.
Cooper Connect wasn't there. There'd probably been another touchdown.
You can hear the school band playing the iconic song from Justin Timberlake as Coach Bragg will call a timeout with 4:56 left to go in the first. A matchup for the #1 seed in the TSIAA heading down the stretch towards the playoffs as the Lancaster Knights lead by 2 in Ottawa. And this will be a handoff in the backfield to Albert Clark. Finally, several Golden Eagles bringing him down. The final player, Tyler Parrott, the senior, bringing him down for a loss of 4.
Way to hold on to his ankle. Sometimes you just have to hold on and just wait for backup. And that's exactly what happened.
A loss for the Lancaster Knights there, as, again, it's challenging to win on the road, especially traveling this far from Murfreesboro. It's a 2-hour drive down to Ottawa from Smyrna. Add about another 30, 45 minutes onto that. Fortunately on a Saturday, so not as much traffic to worry about getting through the city. As Albert Clark gets tripped up in the backfield again, Cole Mason finally bringing him down.
And look at you getting your pronunciation right for Ottawa.
Took me a while.
It happens. But only thing we had to worry about on the way up was the rain. And boy, was there storming.
Going about 55. Yeah, we went about 55 miles an hour trying to get through the storms that were coming in. Right now, the rain looks like it's holding off here in the greater southeast area of Tennessee. 3rd and 15. Bragg alone in the shotgun. He's going to scramble, trying to find the pass. He'll sling it. Might be short enough, and it's incomplete. Through the hands of Reese Chloes.
We also got a flag on the play, it looks like.
Flag on the backside, back of the line of scrimmage. And it's going to be called on Grace Baptist. Unfortunately, our referee has got his mic hooked up, but not clipping his mute switch. And didn't see what the call was there.
I don't even think he made the call.
He did make some sort of signal. But they do move it up. It's another 3rd down. A lucky break for the Lancaster offense, as this will be a 3rd down and 2. And time called by the officials. Looks like they have to have a discussion here about what happened on the last play. They're moving the chains. Because of that penalty, it's an automatic 1st down.
Wonder what that penalty could be.
I think maybe holding on the defense or something along those lines. Even more of a lucky break for Lancaster. Now at midfield. What would have been an incomplete pass and a 4th and out forced by the Golden Eagles. Now another set of downs for Deuce Bragg to work with. At midfield, hand it off. Lane Spurlock tried to carry it up and ruled for a loss of 3.
And a perfect tackle for a big guy like that. Just take him down below. Don't try to take him up high.
Tackling the backfield by number 21, Tyler Parrott. 2-yard loss on the play. It's 2nd down.
Brings up a loss of 2 for a 2nd and 12.
Grace Baptist is doing their job defensive-wise. Hopefully they can keep it up and get that ball back and get another score in.
As time winds down here in the 1st quarter, Bragg under pressure, gets it off to the left side, incomplete. Could have potentially have been caught if it was inside of the regulated width of standard high school football field, it being 8-man, 40-yard width mandate from the TSIAA. That ball just thrown away by Deuce Bragg.
It's 3rd down. Thank you. That's what you're supposed to do when I say that. That's exactly right. Everybody's supposed to do exactly what you just did. You get 1 gold star as a fan.
3rd down and 12 coming up. Bragg under pressure again. He's just as good under pressure as he is when he has the ball. Slings it before he gets forced out of bounds, and it'll be incomplete. Had 2 receivers in the area, and that'll bring up a 4th down and 12.
It's 4th down.
Again, Lancaster leading by 2. Fourth and 12, they will just punt it away at midfield. As this will go up and be fallen on at about the 25-yard line.
When in doubt, foul on it.
This clock continuing to run down here. Stop it at 2:20. New set of offensive downs here for Grace Baptist. Kinnett gets it over, and out of bounds, Caleb Adams. It's positive yardage there for about a gain of 2.
And wait for Lancaster to get right at the perfect time to stop them at the run.
2-yard gain on the play. It's second down.
They got the running game down pat. They're going to have to work on the passing game now.
Talked about it on Extreme Talk this previous Sunday. Right now it is a tie for the first, second, and third seeds in the TSI-AA South. There's Coach Jason Bragg coming into tonight's contest 24-7, looking for his 25th overall win as a head coach. And trying to give Lancaster the upper hand in the South, but they got to get through Kinnett, as Kinnett is brought down at about the 50-yard line, potentially a touchdown saving tackle by Devon Hargrove as it brings up a new set of downs.
Kinnett just doing what he does best, just that RPO, keeping the ball, running it to the first down, possible more. Lancaster got lucky with that stop.
Devon Hargrove has been a star for the Lancaster Knights the last several years. They've been in 8-man football. His name is called very often. He's both receiver and on the defensive side of things.
They're going to need him in order to get this game going against Grace Baptist, a great team.
As there's the RPO we talk about. It's finally released over to Tyler Parrott. He gets a gain of 2 yards, maybe 3, and brings up a second down.
Looks like Kinnett wanted to keep it himself, though. It's a little miscommunication. He didn't know if he wanted to keep it or let it go.
Second and 8. Kinnett, toss, left side, catch is made. They'll get a good reception there to the left side by Caleb Adams. And they'll move the chains for a first down.
A big collision between the two players as well. Way to get that first down, though.
Gain on the play is first and 10, Golden Eagles.
Waiting on the chains to get moved.
I think they broke the chain.
Yeah, because they got one of them down on the side there. Well, that is a first.
Gonna have to get one of the coaches just stand by or somebody.
And that is a first, unless they fixed it.
Looks okay.
Yep, they got it there. Maybe the bar is bent that's holding up the sticks. Well, that's a couple bucks.
We've been there, done that.
Did that with a couple bucks from our from the tripod that was busted. Still has some usage, just not for extending past the middle legs as Kinnett up the middle stays up. Make that a gain of about 7 yards. Cooper Kinnett, impressive as ever.
Some great QB awareness by him as well to just keep that ball, tuck it in, and go. It's a great thing having a dual threat quarterback like that.
7-yard gain on the play. It's second down.
With the gain of the yardage there, this Golden Eagles offense continues to push down the field, looking to take the lead for the first time tonight. 23 seconds, winding down in the first.
Box build up and might be sending the blitz.
They'll try to pressure Kinnett. A little bit of a blitz. The defensive line stands strong. Aired out to the end zone. Touchdown! Caleb Adams.
And a perfect fight in the trenches by the offensive line. Connect has perfect time. No one is coming in. He launches that ball. Perfect arm, perfect throw over the shoulder. Touchdown.
And Grace Baptist with their first lead of the evening.
Just doing what they doing best, scoring.
Unsuccessful on the first 2-point conversion attempt. Trying to go 50% on those conversions, and easy walk into the end zone by Tyler Parrott. 14-8, a 6-point game here in Ottawa. Low squib kick for Grace Baptist, as this will be picked up for a return by Reese Clois. Down to the 15-yard line, and a flag coming from the side of the Grace Baptist bench.
During the return, flag on the play.
Flag is waved off.
I say, what could possibly be the penalty?
Well, the clock did not run down at all with that kickoff return, so stays at 7 seconds. Likely what will be the final play of the first quarter. It'll be in the hands of Deuce Bragg, as fakes the handoff to Clark, avoiding a tackle, slung to the left side and out of bounds, and that will give it to point. That will bring it down to the end of the first quarter. Looked like they may have stopped the clock, but at the end of 12, interesting game so far here in Ottawa, 14-8. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way, and by Fairlife, Core Power Protein. Work hard, recover harder. 12 minutes gone, 12 minutes remain in the first half as the sides of the field are switched and the ball loose. Looks like Lancaster fell back on it. That would have been an interesting start to the second quarter if that had been a change in possession, but fortunately maintained possession here.
And they've been rough on Lancaster. They're already struggling defensive-wise, so we'll see how they work out this offense and get it together.
This Lancaster offense started out the season 3-0. Had contests at Providence, hosting Lighthouse, and then hosting Ezel Harding. 3 games in the last 4 weeks.
A lot of adjustments being made.
Bragg with the audibles. He's got pressure again. As he slings it, it's a catch. As Bragg went down there, and the catch made by Lane Spurlock.
Amazing throw and an amazing catch. I didn't expect him to get there at the time.
Not enough to get the first down, but at least positive yardage instead of a deeper punt in the backfield. Brings up a 4th and 5. As this ball will be booted away.
Almost blocked.
Attempted block by Cole Mason. Nobody back to return for Grace Baptist as they'll go all the way to the 23-yard line. And we'll see the Grace offense back to work.
Lancaster's going to have to do something to stop them here in order to stay in this game or keep it tight. At least Grace Baptist defense is doing their job, keeping Lancaster out the end zone. And
It's 1st and 10, Golden Eagles from their own 24-yard line.
Seen Bob Ateka's, Coach Ateka's offense march down the field in deeper situations, including last week where they started to drive as this ball is incomplete. It's intended for Adams. Saw that happen last week where they started out in their own 5-yard line and marched it down the field for a touchdown.
that's what this offense is made for, just to march down the field with no problems.
Timeout called by Coach Ateka with 10:28 left to go in the first half. Live. 10:28 left to go in the second quarter. Grace Baptist took a timeout to think it over, as this will be a double reversal to the left side to Mason Long. He's got open field. Mason Long, the senior, has just given another touchdown to the Golden Eagles. Incredible.
The way to keep that play. What a great play to pull out the wing. No one even noticed he was there by himself. They had the ball. He's by himself just running.
66-yard rushing touchdown found the other side, found the open space. What a well-coordinated play by Coach Ataka.
He's got plenty of trick plays in that playbook, obviously. Lancaster's going to have to watch out.
There's one thing we know from Coach Bragg. It is not over yet. It's far from over. Two-point conversion attempt to make it a 14-point game here in Ottawa. Connect, toss, incomplete. It's tipped off and incomplete. 10-11 left to go in the first half, and a 20-8 lead for the Golden Eagles after a 60-plus yard rushing touchdown by Mason Long. Grace Baptist, this is the style that they've had before, where they start scoring early. They start going up as early as they can. They've already gotten to that point as the ball is deflected and the clock runs. And to the right side, the return attempt by Reese Chloes.
Sometimes this is a great strategy by Teka. Go ahead and score while you can. That way, the defense, they just have to stop them and just play out the game from here on out.
Also that, and Coach Ateka using the strategy of just going with the squib kick to try to get more of the clock run down. The Golden Eagles, they are controlling the tempo very successfully here.
When you control the tempo, you can control the game easily and possibly pull out an easy win. That's how they usually get these games going.
Let's see if Bragg can get a response here. Quick toss, right side. The catch is made. Caleb Kaczynski, sophomore, with the reception for a gain of, they'll spot him for 9 yards.
Left him wide open by himself. Looks like a miscommunication by a defense.
A special thank you to all 46 of you watching from wherever you are around the world. Spencer Tomset, Brendan Daniel, along with our executive director today, Audrey Green, James Shannon running the camera. Four-man crew, or four-person crew, I should say, bringing you the action here as the reception is made by Kaczynski. Down to about the 49-yard line, a first down for this Lancaster offense, something they definitely needed.
Bragg just showing off his quarterback skills. My word, I've never seen a young guy like this just move out and just be able to throw accurately under pressure.
And you didn't get to catch that last week when we were covering Lancaster and Ezel Harding. Got to see it for the first time in prime time under the lights.
I am very impressed, and I can't wait to see what else he has in his pocket.
Bragg really liking to change the play at the line of scrimmage. Trying to conduct the symphony of the Lancaster offense. On a 1st and 10, quick toss, incomplete. Looked like a miscommunication there. One of the coaches wanting intentional grounding. I believe they will discuss it, but there probably was a receiver in the area on that. They will discuss with the side official on it.
I do believe the wideout was barely there.
Yep, there it is. They'll call intentional grounding.
Oh.
Yep, intentional grounding, so they will move it back 15 yards for that. and a loss of down.
You would think since the wide receiver was in the general area and it was just miscommunication, they just leave it. But hey, it's the refs' world and we just live in it.
5-yard penalty and a loss of down.
Yeah, it's tough on that. I couldn't really tell if there was a receiver necessarily in the direct area. Looks like there may have been one about 5 or 10 yards forward. But with that, it's now going to be, I believe, a loss of down. It's a second down. Stu Sprague looks for the option. Mishandles the snap. He's going to take it on the ground. Going to the left side, and he has a collision. Actually makes positive yardage. Can't get back to the original first down indicator. And gain of about 3-4 yards there for a 3rd and 12.
Sometimes just getting close is good enough. And great quarterback awareness to just run, take that ball, tuck it in, and go. Bragg is very impressive quarterback-wise.
12 yards to go.
Time winding down here in the first half. A 3rd down and 12 coming up for Lancaster at midfield.
Looks like Bragg wanted to go for it, but coach was not going.
That's right, because of the loss of down on the tracker. They have it as a 4th down on the indicator. Or it should be third down, because it was just 2nd down a minute ago. I believe they may have lost track of the down there. Make that the 2nd time we've seen that on the stream game of the week, as that's stopped there, and it's 1st and 10. So my guess is what they went with is they changed the down indicator to 3rd down because of that technical loss of down, but it's like they just lost track of the down there, unfortunately.
Yeah, just the refs got to work on better communication with that.
But regardless, for the Golden Eagles, they start out on their own 23, 22-yard line. As Kinnett will just carry it, getting past the defense. He's got some space. Flag down on the left side of the play. As we wait for the call. It's ruled holding on Grace Baptist.
Honestly, didn't see any holding calls on that one.
So with that, it will now bring up a 1st down. They enforce it from the spot of the foul for a 1st and 13. On the 20-yard line, Kinnett looking. He's got pressure. He's going to air it out, but overthrown by about a step or two to his intended target, and Wilson.
Yeah,
or excuse me, Caleb Adams, the intended target.
Usually see him on point connect, but with the rain and everything, the ball's probably a tad bit a little slippery than it used to be. Probably thinks he needs to put more air on it, but probably not.
I think Kinnett is just wanting to score as early as they possibly can.
Absolutely, he wants to, but sometimes you just need to take it in strides. Just get the points when you can, not when you want. That's what they taught us in school. You got to know your wants and your needs.
School, life taught us that. Adulthood gives us way more of that, as this carry is by Tyler Parrott, and he'll be stopped by the Lancaster defense behind the line of scrimmage. Bringing up a 3rd down and 15.
Lancaster's not falling for it that time. They got to stop and push them back a little bit more. see what kind of trickery Tekka can pull out his hat on this one.
Third and 15. Farthest back that the Eagles have been in their own territory. Kinnett, quick pass to Parrott. Parrott trying to get through the Lancaster secondary, stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Good thought on the screenplay. Lancaster's defense was just ready for it.
1 yard gain on the play. It's 4th down.
Now a punt away set for Lancaster, or excuse me, for Lancaster to receive. They don't have anyone back deep to receive it. We've seen that pattern the last several weeks as this ball just goes out of bounds in Grace territory at about the 47-yard line. We've seen that pattern where teams have opted not to have anyone back to receive the punt. And with that, Lancaster's offense has got good field advantage.
Yeah, but if we learned anything from yesterday, maybe a punt returner isn't too bad of an option to do. They scored twice off of it, so.
Yep, Ferguson's player of the game, getting 2 punt returns for touchdowns. Eli Wilson, congratulations to him on getting the Fairlife Core Power Protein player of the game honor.
Hey, you know what? I kind of want to give Coach credit to that because I feel like he gave it to him off the moment. It was a good punch-in moment to give him, and hey, I can't complain if I take that loss.
Yeah, and you thought it was going to be Caleb Kaywood, which he was a workhorse. He performed very well yesterday, but they went with the special team star. Bragg, under pressure again, finds space in the middle, and he'll slide down to get the first down. Actually, they'll rule him short at the 39-yard line. So a good gain of about 8 yards.
Good gain and perfect slide. We never really see that a high school player really to have a perfect slide like that.
I have to look and see if Deuce actually plays baseball. Might have that experience from there.
That's true. That helps.
That and the kind of mudslide we have on the field, at least the wet conditions from the rain earlier.
Well, I'm sure he's having fun with that as well.
What he's probably not having fun with is the amount of pressure that this Grace defense is putting on him. But he's made something of nothing several times. He's got a 3rd down on the run, trying to get past and brought down from behind by Pierce Smith.
Defense is kind of overplaying it a little bit on the sack, and they need to kind of like plant their feet, get a nice little gather, and tackle them.
No gain on the play.
Gets back to the line of scrimmage. So a 3rd down for this Lancaster offense to work with.
It's like Bragg's struggling with his finger a little bit.
And you can see in the background, too, Lancaster brought some fans from Smyrna. There's a whole line of tents, a decent amount of people who made the travel out from Smyrna. Just a straight shot down I-24 and then a little curve up through the city to get to Ottawa. Right now, the Lancaster fan base a little bit concerned. 3rd down aired out, intended by Bragg, and it's incomplete, but a flag down, so likely pass interference.
I don't know about that call, ref. That looked like a perfect defensive play. Safety just waited for him to get there, and the ball was in perfect condition, but hey, can't complain with the refs, I guess.
And they'll discuss it. We've seen a lot of discussion from these officials on the evening.
And to be honest, if you throw the flag, just go with your call.
Yep, pass interference ruled against Grace Baptist, so it's going to be a 1st and 10.
15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
So lucky break for the Lancaster offense. And a new set of downs on the 25-yard line.
24-yard line.
Deuce again alone in the shotgun. He's been there the majority of the game. But he's still got pressure on the run. Gets the catch to his teammate. A flag is down near the area. That was a flag called on Caleb Kaczynski. As you see the replay, I'm not sure what the official was calling there.
I don't know, because I almost called a hold on.
Yep, holding on Lancaster.
Yeah, number 55 looked like he might have done a little holding, but it looked like he just really drug him down. I don't see the problem there.
Active night for tonight's officiating crew, that's for certain.
First down is to the 15, so 38, actually the 14, so 25. Right?
As the clock should be running. 4.5 left in the first half on a 1st and 20. Bragg has got pressure all night long as that catch is made inbounds by Lane Spurlock. Got his 2 feet in, manages to get the reception.
And obviously the pressure is not a problem because they always have someone wide open. Luckily, these wide receivers are catching the ball. But eventually, Brad's going to have to figure out how to get him some protection.
It's second down.
Second and 18. Bragg loses the football. Great awareness. Looked like he fell back on it. Great awareness, but not what you want to happen. And especially with how slippery the field is, it's bound to happen more times than there.
The field's slippery, and that football is slipperier. So you're going to have to hold on to that ball more than you usually have to.
And timeout called by Lancaster. I believe their final timeout of the first half. 3:06 left to go in the second quarter. A perfect time to remind you the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by First Horizon, all things financial, and by Crutcher's Auto Repair, trusted by Franklin since 1980. Coach Bragg had a chance to think it over with the Lancaster offense. They face now a 3rd down and probably about a quarter of the field at this point.
And still no protection for his quarterback, Bragg.
No protection, maybe 3 linemen. He still got pressure as that was Pierce Smith who got to him, and a sack. Pierce Smith finally got what he was looking for.
And a nice little shoot tag grab, too. Nice little tackle there for you, bud. Nice work. Like I said, Brad's going to have to put some type of running back or somebody to help him block. Maybe even change up the gameplay. Maybe do some running plays.
And Lancaster received the ball to start out the first half, so Grace Baptist getting back the ball with just over 2 minutes remaining in the first half. This is where you need a crucial stop by the Lancaster defense. As the punt is mishandled, fortunately not blocked. Ryan Arrington gets it away as this will go down to the 30-yard line, and the lights are out in stadium.
Dark night game, man.
Well, we've got one spotlight that is on, and I believe they will suspend play because of this.
Got to pay that light bill.
Super Bowl 47 all over again.
Well, does that mean Lancaster may have to pull out a crazy one?
The only difference is Beyonce did not perform pregame or at halftime for this. Was it? It was Beyonce at that Super Bowl. Yep. But so one spotlight on the field as I believe Coach Ateka or the administrators on site, they try to figure out what's going on here, and they'll wait until they get the lights back on to discuss it. So at least for now, the teams will meet, and this could potentially be a momentum shifter. You know, I joke about Super Bowl 47, but that was the momentum shift for the Baltimore Ravens because 49ers had the ball going out of the half. They were ready to go and pushing through, and you see the guy waving the light there and everything. That makes it there. But for Baltimore, they ended up winning that Super Bowl by a field goal. So this could be a momentum shift in favor of Lancaster.
Absolutely, and it's a perfect time to figure out a new game plan, figure out how to get this defense on their heels, and instead of just figuring out, oh, they're just going to pass the ball, well, we're going to rush them every time.
2:07 remaining in the second quarter. Now, fortunately, we still have power here in the booth, obviously, because we're still with you. But still power down below. Might have just been a wire being cut short or something like that.
Or maybe one of the Lancaster fans out there did something.
Don't be accusing them of that. Come on now.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Hey, come on. Or maybe somebody from the Grace fan base didn't like what they were seeing from Lancaster's offense. I don't think this is a good idea. Could be either side. All theories are open and on the table, but at least for now, trying to figure out what's going on here on the field. So, coach is discussing it, and it's weird because again, there's one spotlight on, but all the rest in stadium just cut off suddenly.
Maybe overheating? Is that possible? But it rained earlier, so you would think it'd be fine.
Yeah, there's everything's possible. I mean, I don't know about it overheating at least because you at least look right now. Right now it's only 71 degrees outside, so you would think, but right now we have a suspension in play due to the lights in the stadium going out, except for the one spotlight you see on camera. So we will step aside and try to give you updates as we see them. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have been given an official update. So it is considered halftime now because the lights need to cool down and get back on. So it is a 15-minute break here. They will play the 2 minutes at 7 seconds, have essentially a quarter break in between the second and third quarter, and then we will get back to action here in Ottawa. So because we don't have the lighting, Brendan and I are just going to talk to you with this shot of the light field there for the Iceberg Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling halftime report. And Spencer Thompson, Brendan Daniel bringing you the action here from Ottawa. Play suspended due to the lights suddenly cutting out here in stadium. And, you know, Brendan, we already mentioned it about the delay of game and this potentially shifting the momentum. And for Grace Baptist, the momentum was very much in favor of them. They were going down the field looking to get that score before they get back the ball to start the second half. So this is definitely the time for Lancaster to capitalize on this unexpected turn of events to turn on the gears and potentially get the victory here tonight.
Absolutely, but they're going to have to give some help for Bragg in order to keep him on his feet. He's getting pressured too much in order for him to pass the ball like they want to. So I see that as the one thing they need to fix. Defensive-wise, I mean, you can't do much with Grace Baptist offense. They're going to be on point when they're on point, and you just got to do what you got to do at this moment.
So you're absolutely right. It's just been the story of the game. You know, Lancaster came out firing. Their only score of the game was that onside kick recovery for a touchdown. And right now they've been putting themselves in good situations. They've barely gotten across midfield at this point. That's been the ultimate struggle for them. So what is that Grace Baptist just has to keep doing going through the second half to be able to keep that narrative for the Lancaster offense?
Just keep putting pressure on Bragg as they've been doing, and just keep sticking to your gameplay. Just run that clock down. Maybe put in some short passes. They've been airing the ball out all game, and maybe a couple short passes will help. The RPO has been semi-working, so they'll probably twist that, kind of fix that, but everything's been great.
You're absolutely right. It has been. Thank you for watching the Iceberg Plumbing and Heating Cooling halftime report. Again, the lights went out in stadium except for the one you see on the camera. They have opted to take a 15-minute break for halftime, essentially. They will play the 2 minutes and 7 seconds, and then they will have just a brief quarter break in between. So we will be back. They don't have time on the scoreboard for the 15, so we'll be back in about 15 minutes or so for the second half. 15-minute timer is over. Thank you for watching the Iceberg Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling halftime report. Again, the 2 minutes and 7 seconds will commence as Canet goes to the left side. Doesn't look like any momentum problems there as goes to the left. So we were given official word. The believe maintenance manager or field manager for, I believe this is Hunter Middle School out in Ottawa. The person in charge just forgot to turn off the timer. These lights were set to go dead off at 8 o'clock, and that's what happened. 8 Eastern, they shut down, and likely that one light was an emergency ballast or something along those lines, but they just shut off. So, happens. They'll know not to do it next week. And it continue here as the rain continues in. Caleb Adams faked there. Cooper Canet gets up for a gain of 5 yards for a 2nd and 5.
Yep, Grace Baptist is just going to keep the plan as usual. Just run that clock down. You have the score, so why not?
Doesn't look like there's any momentum problems here with a 2nd and 5.
Absolutely not. I'm sure Coach just told them, hey, just stay on it. This is no different from any other game. Just keep it moving.
And speaking of moving, here goes Tyler Parrott, who keeps it moving for the first down, gets about a yard past the line to gain. And again, they will run the rest of this 1 minute and 22 seconds. And it will be essentially like a break between the 3rd and 4th quarter or the 1st and 2nd, where they'll just have a few minutes of rest. So technically a minute and 22 seconds until the end of the first half. Well, not technically, legitimately, just that the break, the 1st and 2nd half of the game will be flip-flopped.
Stranger things have happened, people.
I'll tell you that story in a little bit as 1st and 10 on the 43-yard line. As Canet will keep it, finds a gap. Canet finds a gap to the left side and a touchdown. Grace Baptist, just like that, are up by 18.
Just Cooper Canet doing what he does best, just keeping that ball, knowing how to run that ball, waiting for his blockers to give him good blocks, and just gone. Touchdown, easily, non-touch.
Oh, Cooper Canet. What a game he's had. And even with the rain coming down here in Ottawa, it's a chance for a 20-point lead for the Golden Eagles over Lancaster. A chance for Grace Baptist in their first year of 8-man football to take the #1 seed, much like Ezel Harding did in 2019. As Canet for the 2-point conversion attempt, up and good. Great reception by Cole Mason. 1:10 left to go in the 2nd quarter. As you see the 2-point conversion attempt here, toss 28-6. (28-8). Grace Baptist with a line drive and tried to recover it there. Instead of falling on it, opted to just bend down and grab it. And for that, Lancaster gets it at midfield.
Nah, you got to drop on that ball as soon as he touches it. Go in for it. Sacrifice your body. This is a big game. That was a big momentum change that, well, not momentum change, but they would have definitely kept the ball and put some more hurting on Lancaster.
And especially with the rain, it's a necessity. So on the 50-yard line, Lancaster down by 20. Tries to make it back here. And a thank you to all 50 of you watching here on 8-Man Extreme, as this catch is made by Elijah Moore. Avoids 2 tackles, trying to avoid a third. Elijah Moore, the impressive reception for 9 yards to get a 2nd and 1.
Grace Baptist is going to need to stop all that arm tackling and try to rip the ball out and just tackle him. You don't need any turnovers. Just play the game how it needs to. Just tackle him and take the downs.
Brings up a 2nd and 8. Or excuse me, 8-yard gain for a 2nd and 2. Bragg alone in the shotgun, pressure again. He'll air it out to the right side and incomplete. That pass intended for Caleb Kaczynski.
Great pass coverage as well. Great route running as well. And a perfect, good pass, but just can't get connected.
So here's your story of how some crazy things like this have happened with lights and field situation malfunctions. We were calling a game in 2018 between the Tennessee Heat and Christian Community on a Saturday night. As it's 3rd and 2 coming up, and the field sprinklers went off in the middle of the game. Fortunately, it's in between plays, but the sprinklers went off as a 3rd and 2. Bragg under pressure again. He's got a second guy toss. What a catch if it was recepted, waiting on the call, and it's a catch. Great reception there on the left side by Hargrove.
God, well, every time he scrambles out, I just think they catch him, and then he just knows how to throw that ball, get it out of his hands, and there's always someone there.
Deuce Bragg is impressive as always. And it's now a 1st and 10 on the 25-yard line. Bragg. The pressure is immense for Deuce Bragg. Slings it to the middle and incomplete. Looks like the pass was intended there for Kaczynski.
Almost caught that one as well.
Pass intended for number 5, Lane Spurlock.
But
It's 2nd down.
next
Correction,
time,
Lane Spurlock on the intended pass there. And
Timeout, Grace Academy.
next time you do a little story, you're going to have to let me come in and say, story time with Spencer.
well, there's a timeout called by Grace Baptist here. And technically, because this is the 2nd quarter, they're using the timeouts, and they'll get a new set of timeouts going into the 3rd quarter. But here's your story time during the timeout. So,
story time with Spencer.
sprinklers went off at Mount Juliet Christian Academy. Tennessee Heat used to have their home games there. And one of the referees got soaked from down below. And yeah, they had to wait another 5-10 minutes because someone forgot to turn off the automatic sprinklers that went off at the exact time they were supposed to. And fortunately, it didn't stop the game as long as tonight's did with the spotlights cutting off, but it's on the list there of the weird things to happen with the with elements that are beyond the officials' control, the coaches' control, players' control. That's the 2nd time something like that has happened. Of course, we've had 2 rain delays. We had 1 game officially suspended until further notice. That was the Zion and Franklin Classical game we covered a few weeks back, or at least covered for a quarter and a half. And now 7 seconds remain in the 2nd quarter. Again, halftime break was already taken for 15 minutes, so we'll have a short break going into the 3rd quarter. Likely the final play of the 1st half, and each team will get their timeouts reset. Bragg again, he's got the pressure in the middle. He's finally brought down for another sack. Cole Mason, and that is going to, there was a timeout called by Coach Bragg, I believe, before the quarter ended. So there might be a few seconds on the clock.
Like I said, you got to give him some blocking back there. He's getting killed every time he's going back there.
See if we can get the call from the official. I believe they're going to add a few seconds on the clock here because of the timeout. Or it might be an untimed down. Trying to get something from our official here tonight. And
no type of communication.
And it might just be the lapel system because of how far the range is trying to. It gets a range of about 300 feet. Probably say it's about 300 feet from here. And I believe they will have one on time down because of that timeout. And again, because this is the second quarter, Grace Baptist does get the ball back. So that's why Coach Bragg was complaining and wanting to get that at least one play in before the end of the quarter. So good strategy by Coach Bragg. Final play of the first half. On a 3rd and 20. It's Deuce Bragg under pressure, not brought down from the line, almost did, slung toward the end zone. Catch! Touchdown! Bragg with the ultimate call. Kaczynski for 6.
Perfect time and perfect play. Just as you thought you had him, he launches that ball. Perfect throw. Oh, my gosh, what an arm. And then perfect catch away to get into that end zone.
As time has already expired in the first half with all the stoppages, we mentioned that Grace Baptist not having any problems with momentum for what it looked like on another touchdown. And now, just like that, it's a 14-point game with a chance for it to be 12.
It isn't momentum switch yet, but it's calmed down a little bit. It's heading towards Lancaster's way.
14-point game. Deuce Bragg mishandles the ball, loose in the backfield, and it cannot be scooped up and scored. Still not in the high school level. That is going to end the first half. Officially, Grace Baptist will get the ball back regardless. Third quarter coming up in just a few seconds here on the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. Officially the start of the third quarter after that 15-minute intermission with the lights going out in Ottawa, as this will be returned by Grace Baptist, and it is Mason Long, the senior. He's trying to go to the right side, gets a tackle out, and to the 33-yard line. Spencer Tomset, Brendan Daniel, our executive director Audrey Green, and James Shannon running 2 cameras at once down below. Proud to be with you in Ottawa, Tennessee at Hunter Middle School. The elements starting to come down. We're dry and covered here in this press stand. Great setup, even though it's temporary for the Golden Eagles. From what we were told, they actually just met with their architect earlier this week to finalize all the press box schematics for their new facility that will be open for fall 2022. So this will be the last year, more than likely, that Hunter Middle School is the host of the Golden Eagles. Only temporary, of course, with the Chattanooga Tornadoes, as this ball carried up the middle, and Tyler Parrott brought down by the defense of Lancaster. Devon Hargrove gets a tackle.
Great tackle by Darn Hargrove. Defense is ready for that running play.
And brings it to now a 2nd down and 8. 2nd and 8, left side. Carry there for a gain of several yards.
Net on the keeper.
3rd and 5. Knet is going to air it out even in the rain under pressure. Knet almost got the catch there, Mason Long, and it's likely the rain that got to him on that attempt. So now 4th down and 5. This Lancaster defense doing what they need to, and the momentum shift right now. 4th and 5. Knet will just punt it away. Nobody back to receive. A beautiful punt by Cooper Knet as this goes all the way down to the 15-yard line. Couldn't place it any better.
Cooper Knet just showing everything today. He's got an interception. He's run it back. He's punt the ball perfectly. He's thrown the ball perfectly. Is there anything this kid can't do?
That's the question. First and 10. Bragg, rush up the middle. And I believe that's by Westmoreland who took the carry up the middle. Or his correction is actually Elijah Moore who took that carry and results in a loss of 1.
Carry number 13, Elijah Moore. 1 yard loss on the play brings up 2nd down.
Second and 11. Bragg, quick toss left side. The catch is made and tripped up is Devon Hargrove. That's Caleb Adams with the block. Good stop by Caleb Adams.
By number 30, Caleb Adams.
Gain of about 4 yards. The elements coming down here in Ottawa.
It's 3rd down.
Bragg alone in the shotgun. Quick sling to the right side. The catch is made for a 1st down and
Bragg's pass complete.
tackled down for the 1st down at the 30-yard line.
10-yard gain on the play. It's 1st and 10, Knights.
Brendan. So now 1st and 5 on the 31-yard line for Lancaster as Bragg under pressure. He's going to be brought down for a sack. Sack by Cole Mason and Jacob Mock.
With the sack. 4-yard loss on the play. It's 2nd down.
And Brendan will be back with us in a moment, having some equipment issues right now. A 2nd down and 14. Bragg, 2nd and 14, slings it across the middle, incomplete. Pass intended for Hargrove. Tried to catch it while he was diving down and just couldn't get it there. So 3rd down coming up. Third and 14, Bragg scrambles to the right side. He is going to be stopped at the 35-yard line. On a Saturday night, the Lancaster Knights and the Grace Golden Eagles collide for essentially the #1 seed in the TSI-AA South. Depends on what Franklin Christian does with the rest of their divisional matchups as well, but at least this is determinatory of either #1, #2 seed, as far as we're aware. 4th down and 5. And movement. Many players there, so likely a offsides. Maybe. Who was it? Was it Lancaster's receiving core? So we got a little bit from his lapel module there, so it looks like it is the range. So in favor of Lancaster there for a 4th down and 1. And looks like it's going to be Bragg is going to go for it on a 4th and 2. Likely they have to go for it in this situation. Scramble, right side, brought down. Bragg is stopped on the 4th down, and a turnover on downs forced by the Grace defense. First and 10, new set of downs for the Golden Eagles. Up the middle, carry by Canet. The keeper there for Canet. Second and 5. Canet is going to keep it up the middle, gain of about 3 yards. About 5 minutes left to go in the here in the 3rd quarter. From Ottawa, 14-point lead for Grace Baptist as they try to go up by 3 scores and potentially put it out of reach for this Lancaster team. And off, up the middle. Big gain by Tyler Parrott and a 1st down just outside the 20-yard line. As the Golden Eagles get a 1st and 10. So far, it's been a good defensive stand for Grace Baptist on that previous drive for Lancaster, and now they're on the door of potentially scoring here just outside the 20. On a 1st and 10. A handoff and a bring down in the backfield. The Lancaster defensive line not allowing anything to go. Lane Spurlock, the senior.
Just exactly what they needed defensive-wise, just to come in and break up that RPO. You just got to keep sending pressure because you know they're just going to try to run the ball, run the clock down for the moment.
5-yard loss on the play. It's 2nd down.
The Lancaster fan base making noise with horns. Right side, the catch is made.
Pass complete.
Catch over by Caleb Adams. For what Grace Baptist lacks in numbers compared to the Lancaster Knights, they make up for it in skill, as they're showing right now with the gain, and they do face a 3rd down and 9.
Sometimes skill is better than numbers, man. I mean, if you got the guys that can do what they need to do on both sides, just play the game how it needs to be. You'll figure it out. And honestly, they haven't had any issues with it because they've been winning nonstop.
5-0 start to the regular season. They look to go 6-0 in one of their toughest matchups of the year. So reverse to the right side. This carry by Cole Mason. Cole Mason collides with the final player on the sideline in a 1st and 10.
Ooh, and an injury. With a perfect play by him as well.
Yeah, Cole Mason out of bounds. Looked like he came down hard on that left knee.
Yeah, it was that defensive lineman or the defensive player got him right there on that knee perfectly.
Coach Ateka and the training staff is going to look at Cole Mason. I believe with him being far out of bounds, they will not call an injury timeout. Yeah, that's a good sign at least. Cole Mason standing on his own feet. And Grace Baptist now trying to score a touchdown for him after that big gain.
Looks like he's ready to go back out there. Like nothing just happened. Shows the toughness in that kid.
Maybe just a little shaken up. Has to sit out for 1 play minimum. 1st and goal on the 9-yard line, and flags fly.
Got a jumper.
Offsides on the defense.
And half the distance to the goal.
Half the distance from the previous spot. Still 1st down. He did not start the clock.
First and goal on the 5-yard line.
Go ahead and rush that thing in there. Just push it in.
Make that on the 4. Canet looking to the left side. Toss. End zone incomplete. Pass intended for long.
Pass just behind him as he runs past him.
Lancaster has their game tonight against Grace Baptist. They finish out the season with 3 games and a bye week on October 8th. They've got their final matchups in division next week, hosting Franklin Christian. The following week, hosting Zion. Bye week, and then hosting South Haven before they head to the playoffs. And for Grace Baptist, they have game against Lancaster tonight. They host Zion next weekend. As an attempted touchdown here by Grace, trying to push it through the middle is Tyler Parrott. Nothing doing there. Actually, correction for Lancaster, they have that bye week, and then they host South Haven. For Grace Baptist, They host Zion next week. They have a bye October 1st. They travel to Franklin Christian for their final divisional matchup, which could be for the #1 seed in the South, and the Tennessee School for the Deaf will be hosted here on October 14th. 2.5 minutes left. Hear all the noisemakers from the other side as it's a touchdown for Cooper Connett. 6 more points as Grace Baptist leads by 20.
Not as easy play on this one. Kind of a little confusion trying to get with the ball. He's touched a little bit, but that arm tackle ain't going to do it, buddy.
Especially that close to the goal line. Now a 20-point lead in the third, especially late in the third. Trying to go up by 22. Connett looks for the 2-pointer. Toss right side. Incomplete. Great coverage there. And 34-14 with 2.5 left to go in the third quarter. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Crumble cookies, enjoy to every last crumb. And by Iceberg Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, services for every season. Special thank you to all 61 of you watching from wherever you are. And this kickoff will be returned by Reese Clois once again, and he's brought down, and there's a flag in the backfield. Special thanks to all 54 of you watching from wherever you are. Spencer Thompson, Brendan Daniel, proud to be with you here in great city of Ottawa, Tennessee. Takes 8 seconds off of the clock.
This is when Lancaster is going to have to pull something out their bag in order to keep this game coming.
One of the drives where they need to score here. They're down by 20. Essentially a 3-possession game.
Bragg by himself again. That's going to be a problem.
Bragg looking left side. It's batted at the line of scrimmage, but what a catch.
What a catch indeed. I thought maybe the ball hit the ground before he caught that, but great concentration on the wideout just to able to get under that ball and catch it.
Elijah Moore with the reception, even with it batted at the line. But unfortunately, it does result in negative yardage. 2nd and 13.
Maybe he should have kept that guy back there, help him for a little blocking scheme, but.
2nd and 13. They keep leaving Bragg alone, and it's not really helping him as it's an interception. Mason Long for the pick 6.
And there's the problem. That's why you got to give him protection. He has no choice but to get rid of that ball. And apparently he thought he maybe had somebody from across the corner, but well read by a defensive player. Just walk it on in there without being touched.
Well, what looked like a chance for Lancaster to build a comeback, it is now turned into a one-sided contest.
You gotta give credit to these defensive
Oh,
linemen.
yeah.
They're getting past the offensive line with no problem, and they just put it on Bragg.
As a two-point conversion attempt by Canet, it'll be stopped short of the end zone. 1:27 left to go in the third. It's a 26-point lead here in Ottawa. Third quarter, as this gets booted and out of bounds. So option to re-kick or, an option to re-kick, or they will just take it from the 40-yard line. Looks like the Lancaster offense will take it from the, I believe, the 35. Well, we got some signal there. Got a smidge of signal from the lapel module. We'll figure it out at some point. One of the times when we actually get on site early to Ottawa, we'll fully test it on the field and see if it's the range or if it's something going on with the equipment. 1:19. As Lancaster tries to mount a comeback. And time called by Coach Ateka. They'll think it over here with 1:19 left to go in the third. The band playing Don't Stop Believin' by Journey. As this goes high over Bragg's head and goes all the way back to about the 10-yard line. They'll spot it at the 7, and things just keep getting worse and worse for Lancaster.
Absolutely. Worst time ever to have a moment like this, but there's not much you can do. Just keep looking through that playbook, give some Bragg some protection so he can launch it down the field, maybe get you those yards back.
On the 9-yard line, make that second down and a quarter of the field, maybe close to half of the field. Maybe 32 yards. Time winding down in the third quarter. Bragg looks, gets the pass off to Clark, as Clark cuts out several tackles, finally brought down by the leg at about the 22-yard line.
These are the type of plays Lancaster's going to need if they're going to just leave Bragg all by himself. Just get it quickly out of his hands and let the wideouts do all the work.
And I believe that's just going to take us to the end of the third quarter. 12 minutes remain. Grace Baptist firing on all cylinders as they usually do. They lead by 26 heading into the final 12.
No problem.
12 minutes remain. Third down and 20 for Lancaster, as this is the drive where they have to score if they want any chance at a comeback. Can Deuce Bragg handle it? Under pressure, slung to the left side, and the catch is made. And Grace Baptist will prevent the first down by a yard on the 44-yard line.
But you know they're going to go for it. And
Have to.
perfect protection for Bragg. Way to give him that time to throw out the ball, too. Great run by the wideout to get at least a little close to that first down, just enough to punch him through.
Fourth and 1, Bragg going for it. Again under pressure, slung to the left side, overthrew Clark, and that'll be another turnover on downs for Grace Baptist.
Hate to see it. This is why you got to give Bragg a little bit more protection than that, man. He's getting rushed. He doesn't have time to set his feet, so he's just throwing out random. And I'm sure he's getting upset about it.
And because of that, this Grace Baptist offense, they get one more score in here. That'd be the nail in the coffin. And knowing how quick that Knet and company can score seems very likely as they start on Lancaster's 44-yard line. See if the Lancaster defense can make a crucial stop here. What they need is a pick six, as we saw that earlier from the Golden Eagles. On 1st and 10, Knet, right side, catch is made. Tyler Parrott gets to the right, avoids several tackles, and brought down at about the 42-yard line.
This offense, it's really hard to stop because even if he tries to long bomb, he has that guy at the right there where he needs to be, just to catch it, pick up a couple of yards, and get that time running.
Second down and 5. Golden Eagles 10.5 minutes separated from going 6-0 before they have their next competition following week against Zion. Knet, left side, brought down for a gain of a yard.
Lancaster was boxing in. They were ready for any type of thing. They were going to send the blitz and get to connect as fast as possible.
You know, Knet Coach Babatek, a 41-73 in his 8-man football career. Already 5-0 with making the move to 8-man football. You go 6-0. I think the move was a good choice for Grace Baptist Academy.
It's already looking like a good choice. I mean, you're already undefeated. I mean, even if you have a couple losses, you're still looking at like, well, this is still a successful season.
Been successful thus far as Knet with the RPO. Gain of several yards. It'll be short for a 4th down and 2.
Now here's the question for Grace Baptist. Do you go for it or do you punt it and just trust your defense? They've been doing a great job.
Have to really pinch them deep on this. Really have to angle the punt with it being on the 35-yard line. So with 2 yards gain, probably they'll go for it.
But you're in great field position where you can just give them the ball, but hey, why not just go for it?
Trying to waste down as much clock as they can. Knet with the audible, coordinating with his offensive coordinator.
He sees the blitz, so he knows he's got to change it.
And with the ball snapped, Knet will keep it, and he'll be stopped by Lancaster's secondary. Turnover on downs.
Just what Lancaster made. Maybe they need a score. They put some type of points on the board and then play the same type of defense they did that last drive.
Had 8.5 minutes to try and work with it.
That's still plenty of time. But once again, you had to protect Bragg. Give him that chance to set his feet and get that ball out of his hands.
Lancaster has to drive about 60 yards down the field, and time is of the essence with being down by 26. It's a 4-possession game as Albert Clark gets tripped up for a gain of 5 yards.
Finally, run the balls to get them away from Bragg. Give him a break. He's been getting hit and chased all day.
Second and 5. Catch made by Clark, almost incomplete. Couldn't retain possession.
What a hit, though. To get that ball out of his hands. My word, son. Woo.
We've talked about the national rankings. You know, Grace Baptist #1 coming in today. Lancaster #3. I'm sure Hank St. Dennis and the NHSA decision board or the polling board are watching this closely. Grace Baptist has every right to say they'll stay at the #1 position as this pass broken up by Knet. And 4th down coming up. But I'm sure Hank St. Dennis watching this game from afar. I'm sure that the rest of the polling board in some way will get the highlights of this game going into tomorrow for the updated national rankings. Probably Grace is going to stay at 1. How far down, assuming the results hold, how far down do you think Lancaster goes on if they go down any farther? Do you stay at the 3? Do they go down any further?
I think they go down at least a couple of spots because you have to think a lot of teams lost this week that were up there as well.
Yep.
So it's a lot of changing going on in there. I'm sure they got a lot of work ahead of them to figure that out.
And there's movement there. I believe a false start from Golden Eagles. Or excuse me, I believe a false start from Lancaster. Yep. Called on Lancaster. Coach Bragg not happy with that one.
Absolutely not, but now is a big decision. That hurts you real bad of backing it up. So what do you do here now?
Brings it back for a 4th down and 8. And timeout called by Coach Jason Bragg. 7:38 left to go in regulation. Grace Baptist leads 40-14. 7:38 left in regulation. Lancaster facing a 4th down and 9, where they have to go for it. Looks like they've only got one receiver wide to the right. Got some people on the inside.
Maybe a little screen play. Nope.
4th and 9 with the pressure. Bragg gets it off up the middle, and it's intercepted. Cooper Cannett with the pick. Make that 2 interceptions on the night for Cannett. And to the 45-yard line, Grace will take over on downs.
And Cooper Cannett just doing what he does best, being the player of the game and just hitting the right points. He just perfect slide, too.
I was about to ask who your prediction was, but we know that now.
If you watch the whole game, I mean, it's obvious. Cooper Cannett just put his fingerprints on everything. I tell you what, if we have ratings for these players, I'm sure Cooper Cannett would definitely be a 5-star.
Might be that, or could potentially, I'll throw out there Cole Mason, because he's had several sacks on Bragg throughout the night, and he's been looking, helping to keep that pressure on Bragg. I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Ateka honors another defensive player. Might honor someone who hasn't gotten the player of the game to this point, because Cannett has gotten it, both Swanson, so might be somebody else, which we wouldn't blame Coach Ateka for.
Absolutely not, but as good of a game as Cannett has been doing, let him keep the shirt.
Hey, if Cannett wins, I mean, we could give him a second shirt if he wanted to, but he's already got one, so he could just put it on again.
Maybe we could just give him 2 shakes, and he has to drink them both.
Drink 2 protein shakes, yeah. Hopefully James doesn't challenge him to any of the players to a chug off like he did last weekend. He tried to make you do that with the Providence player last night.
Yeah, and I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not that much of a chugger. I can do it, but I can't do it
as we saw in Extreme Talk a few weeks ago, as Cannett will keep it looking for the option, and he's just going to keep it back to about the line of scrimmage as so continue to run down the clock as things wind up here in Ottawa. I think Lancaster knows what is pending or knows what's incoming, and Grace Baptist is going to taste 6-0 heading into week 7.
And the problem with Lancaster was there was no adjustments for the offense. I mean, the defense can only do so much when they're on the field the whole entire game. So with this point, you got to, for the adjustments for the next game, you had to give Bragg some blocking options if you're going to pass the ball that much and put in some running plays. They barely ran the ball.
Barely any running, even with rain that was coming down earlier. It looks like it subsided, fortunately. Might be able to get the camera on the field for the postgame. Toss for the pass. What a catch!
Whoa.
Mason Long with it being tipped by Elijah Moore. And, of course, we had to show that to you again.
And I don't know if this is copyright purposes, but I'm just going to say it. Son, you been mossed. So if they're going to come after me, come on. Brendan Daniel.
Five and a half remaining as Grace Baptist gets another first down, looking to, looks like they've essentially already put the nail on the coffin in this one, trying to get another score possibly to one of their other alternative targets. A 1st and 10. And the keeper by Cannett goes up the left side, past the 20-yard line for a gain of 6.
Just run that clock out. That's all you need to do.
Trying to run it down, wrap things up. Have Lancaster go back to Smyrna with their first loss of the season at 3-1. Be their record exiting out of Ottawa. That'll be a long bus ride home.
Got a lot to talk about.
Here's the handoff. Up the middle is Tyler Parrott. things wrap up here. Again, stay tuned for the Fairlife Core Power Protein post-game show. Brendan and I will talk with Coach Ateka, get his player of the game, as Brendan predicted, Cooper Kinnett. We'll wrap things up here from Ottawa and wrap things up for week 6 of the 8-man football season. As we go into not only that, but week 2 of the NFL football season tomorrow with Extreme Talk at 4 p.m. Central. And Kinnett had handed it off with a rush up the middle, and that is not a sight you want to see. Tyler Parrott was clenching his knee for a moment. Looks like he's good.
Sometimes you just need to walk that off. Just a little gimpy, that's it.
And on the 14-yard line, another first down as the Golden Eagles try to get one more score in before the end of the game inside the red zone. You know, Brendan, we mentioned it in the first few weeks leading up with Grace Baptist. The question continually remained as Tyler Parrott to the right side. A flag is down, several flags down, as they'll have a discussion here. But, you know, we talked about it, how go back constantly to their game against the Bradley Knights. Looked like it was potentially a fluke to have a 106-0 victory. Then we went to their second game of the season against Ezel Harding. COVID issues, didn't have practice, thought it was maybe just Grace Baptist having some easy teams. And then Evangel, the close game down in Alabaster or Montevello, just that victory. And then still thinking maybe Grace has something going here. And now 4-0, just like that. They're 5-0 after beating Christian Community. And now about to have 6 straight wins in their 8-man football debut. And I think it's safe to say it's not a fluke at all. This Grace Baptist team is impressive, and don't know if there's anything that can really stop them on their path to the state and likely the national championship.
Absolutely. I mean, they've made us all believers. You know, we even said it a couple of times in the Extreme Talk Show. We thought it was all a fluke and everything, but they've showed us that we're not a fluke. We're the real deal. Teka's a great strategic coach. He knows to get those points on the board, run down the clock as soon as you got a good score, and give what the defense gives you.
And for those of you who are superstitious, I clarify, I said path to those championships, not guaranteed route, as Cooper Kinnett gets a gain of about 8 yards there with the keeper as time continues to wind down here. But because, of course, you know, Evangel got that victory against Freedom last night, so they've changed up their game plan, especially with how tough Freedom has been throughout the season. And, you know, with Evangel and with the Freedom Cowboys, likely we'll see them in Florida depending on how the rankings go and everything. I don't know where Freedom's going to go with the NHSA rankings after this weekend. I'm glad I don't have that job, but it's wherever they're going to go with those rankings, and where you know, Ezekiel falls in the mix. And Lancaster, of course, with this loss, they're probably going to drop down a rank or two. So it's a lot of things to consider going into Extreme Talk tomorrow, as victory formation is starting here in Ottawa. But a lot of interesting things to think about as we head into Week 7, Brendan.
Absolutely, and it's a lot to think about for the guys doing the polls. I hate to have their jobs.
There are a lot of jobs I don't envy in this world.
Absolutely.
One of those is absolutely polling.
Because everybody's going to have a problem with it no matter what.
Glad I'm not on the college football playoff committee.
Don't get me started on them.
Glad I'm not on the NHSA playoff structure committee. Well, structuring the playoff rankings committee. Nod to Hank St. Dennis on that, and believe there is one more kneel down required, or they'll just have one more snap of the ball, one more play. Actually, they will. Looks like they will just wrap it up here. The Grace Baptist Academy Golden Eagles, in one of their toughest challenges of the season, gets it done. 40-14. They're on top of the South and in the driver's seat to get the first round bye in the playoffs. We'll be back for the Fairlife Core Power Protein post-game show. We'll be back in just a few moments here. Stay tuned.
When your workout ends, ours begins. Work hard, recover harder with Core Power. 26 grams of high-quality, complete protein.
We hadn't been in that position, and so we were able to, bounce back. And our kids played hard, and they had resilience. And I think defensively, we're just overwhelming people, and that's where we're winning football games.
And especially with tonight's win, you've essentially locked the first round bye in the TSIAA playoffs. You got two more games on the season for that. But how special is this for you and this group of guys to start out 6-0 in your 8-man football career?
We're just blessed. I mean, God be the glory. It's been a great season, and the kids are enjoying themselves. But we got a long ways to go, and we're not stopping yet.
And you have a familiar face next week against the Zion Christian Academy Eagles in the TSSAA. Anything you're going to tell the guys going against Jeff Jordan and company for next week?
I don't know anything about them other than the fact that we'll watch film tomorrow, and we'll try to break them down, and we'll be ready to go on Monday.
Well, you know the drill. Let's go ahead and introduce your Fairlife Core Power Protein player of the game and how proud you were of his performance in tonight's game.
Well, proud of all our guys, and so it's hard to always pick one. But you got a shirt for all of them? I got 17's all we got. No, but we had our leading tackler tonight. Since we're defensively, we played great. Our leading tackler was Cole Mason, so we'll give it to him tonight.
All right, to Cole Mason. All right. They keep going after me every single time, man. Cole Mason, congratulations. Let's go ahead and get the shirt over the Gatorade. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. But Cole, what a spectacular performance on both sides of the ball for you. How did you think this challenge was against Lancaster Christian?
Honestly, it's just like any other week, any other game. We just come out here and compete. It's a brotherhood. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it without any of them. And my coaches, to be honest, sometimes on defense I just get lost, but they just tell me to go hard. So it works out when I go hard.
Well, we have 5 protein shakes for you to choose from. Which flavor are you going to go with tonight?
Chocolate.
All right. All right. You guys want them to chug this one? Yes. All right. Open. All right. Go ahead. How does it taste?
Delicious.
All right. Congratulations. You're Fairlife Core Power Protein player of the game. Congratulations. Storm again. They didn't try to truck me last night like the Providence Christian players, but Brendan, what a game. I mean, score didn't necessarily show how tough it was in the beginning. It was closely matched, even with the lights going out and with the stoppage and everything factored. Lancaster certainly brought the challenge, and it looked like the momentum shifted, but Coach Babatek and company just getting the job done.
Absolutely, and there's not much you can do. I mean, Bragg didn't have any protection, so Grace Baptist just went for him, and that's mainly all you have to do defensive-wise.
Well, Extreme Talk is tomorrow. This is our, I believe, 6th week straight of doubleheaders, and it continues with week 7 next week. But any previews, what you're going to talk about tomorrow with what's been a wild week 6?
I'm sure we're going to talk about all the upsets that happened yesterday, and then we're going to talk about the craziness and what Lancaster and Grace Baptist have to do to win here on out.
Last week, messed up the score with the Christian Community game. This week, 40-14, your final score. Grace Baptist gets it done. They're 6-0 and in the driver's seat for the TSIAA South. On behalf of Audrey Green running the show upstairs, James Shannon on the other side of the camera, as well as from afar, Jerry Jr. and Matthew Cruz, as well as my broadcast partner, Mr. Brendan Daniel. I'm Spencer Tomset. Don't show that hat ever again on camera. Man. Congrats to Rocky Top on getting the win today, but I'm Spencer Tomset saying so long from Ottawa. A 40-14 victory, a 6-0 start for Grace Baptist.